Are you a fan of very obscure movies and would like to see them come to the 4K format? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over some forgotten movies that I think deserve to get a 4K release. Ever since physical media has been a thing, each of us has had a personal list of movies that we would like to see arrive on that particular format, going way back to VHS and fast forwarding all the way to 4K nowadays. And those could be ranging from very popular, well known titles to maybe something a little bit more obscure. Of course, not every single movie that has ever been made is going to arrive on physical media. But then that's why you have, especially today, labels such as Vinegar Syndrome, who seems to really excel in bringing those lesser known, often overlooked movies to physical media, in many cases 4K. Now, in this video, I'm not going to talk about the popular movies that arrive. I've done many videos on that subject, but for this one, I want to mention some titles that are a little bit more forgotten. Whether they're known but not widely known, movies that are just flat out obscure, or even films that just maybe haven't even gotten a Blu-ray release. They were released, let's say, on VHS and maybe DVD, and then skipped the Blu-ray generation. But hey, why not get a 4K for these films? Now, let me just say the titles I'm going to talk about here, I think a lot of us have heard about. There's going to be movies on here, but I feel are often overlooked, underappreciated. But hey, for every summer camp nightmare, look that one up, kids. You also have some movies, such as my first pick, which is going to be Explorers. Explorers was released on Blu-ray from Shout Factory a couple years back, but I would love to see this one get a 4K release. I feel it is kind of a forgotten title. It has, a very young River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke. It's a really charming type of coming of age, little bit of a sci-fi film, and it's one that I often had in rotation when I was younger. I would like to see this one get a 4K bump. Maybe Shout Factory will upgrade this one to 4K sometime in the future, but it's not a movie that I often hear in discussion, but I would love to see Explorers get a 4K release. When it comes to animation, there are a ton of movies I could put as far as forgotten or obscure movies that deserve to get a 4K bump. Disney has a whole catalog. There's a certain movie on there that, look, it's never going to get a physical media release here, but who wouldn't like to see Song of the South get a 4K? I mean, that would be something. But for this video, I want to talk about a movie that when it came out on DVD, I really liked it. It was also a really powerhouse kind of audio mix. And that is Titan AE, which I believe was owned by then Fox, which makes it a Disney property currently. So this getting a 4K upgrade is probably a long shot at best. But not a lot of people talk about this one, and it is kind of one of those obscure animated films, but it is cool. It's sci-fi, the animation is pretty awesome, and as I mentioned, the audio track way back on the DVD was something else. I would love to see Titan AE get a physical 4K release. I think the animation will look gorgeous with HDR, and if they don't muck it up, a new Dolby Atmos track, but just leave the original on there as well for those that really liked it and remember it fondly. About a year or so ago, Kino Lorber announced that Dante's Peak was coming to 4K. It was up for pre-order and then it was silently canceled, but then it's now back up again. But look at the other side of that coin. These two movies came out roughly around the same time. Volcano, once again, another Fox property, so we'll just leave that baggage aside. But this one I feel is very underrated, underappreciated, and kind of forgotten by a lot of movie fans. I like it. I mean, I love movies set in LA. I'm from California, so I always gravitate towards those type of movies. And the premise is absurd. It is 100% absurd, but there's just something so fun about it. Could you imagine getting a whole restoration, give it that HDR grading, and then just add a new Dolby Atmos track that they hopefully won't nerf to oblivion? This could be something else. But I think this would bring, a movie like this, bringing it to 4K would set a whole new set of eyes on it. A couple generations, I think, would enjoy this one. I like it. It's very underrated and forgotten, in my opinion. So hopefully, maybe one day we will see Volcano on 4K. Now, this next one is definitely more on the obscure side. I'd be very surprised if even half my audience has heard about it, but I've always enjoyed it. Red Violin on 4K, I think would make for a phenomenal 4K release. It's a very interesting drama where a violin is created by a master, creator of instruments way back, hundreds of years ago, and it kind of shows the journey of this violin through various hands over the centuries. I like it a lot. It's always one of those movies that's just kind of very you're just drawn to it. And you have the music element too. A lot of classical film or music in this. It's kind of cool. It is really, really interesting. It's a compelling story. Samuel L. Jackson is in it. He's one of the big names. And it's I think it's one that I think would benefit from a new Dolby Atmos upgrade. You imagine just the surround elements for the classical music, I think would be phenomenal. Picture upgrade also would go very well, but I've always secretly championed this one to get a physical 4K. I believe it did get a Blu-ray, and I think it is in my collection. I have to double check on that one, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened. I could see maybe a boutique label picking this one up, but I would love to see Red Violin get a 4K release sometime down the line. Another movie that gets really overlooked, in my opinion, and you would think with the star power and the creative talent behind it, it would get a little bit more visibility, especially in today's politically charged times. Wag the Dog, starring Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. I really like this film, and I don't believe you can probably correct me in the comments that it got a Blu-ray release. But if it didn't, I would very much enjoy seeing this get a 4K. Just skip over Blu-ray, come right to 4K. It's not a movie that would benefit greatly from audio upgrade, but I would take it nonetheless. But a nice modern physical media release of Wag the Dog is what I really like. The picture enhancement alone, I think, would make it worth the price of admission. But it's a very interesting tale. Once again, it's pretty timeless. It has a lot of those political themes that you could put in any decade, and it would, you could easily relate to it. But I think the movie is criminally underrated. It's often overlooked and, thus forgotten. So, Wag the Dog, let's see this one get a 4K. Now, I know there are fans for this next pick, and I've talked about it on this channel before. And the fact that it did get a 4K digital upgrade not too long ago makes me believe that we could possibly see a physical release from Paramount down the line. Robin Williams and Popeye. This one got completely just obliterated back during its initial run, but it definitely doesn't deserve it. It's a fun, charming movie, some music elements to it. Uh, my parents even had the vinyl album of it. I used to listen to it a lot, but there's something so charming about Popeye. It's a really decent live action adaptation. Robin Williams is great in it. He's great in anything. But Popeye, I think he definitely put a new set of eyes on his career. But it's a cool movie. It just doesn't get a lot of recognition, and I don't feel a lot of people, especially today, know about it. It's worth checking out, but I'm hopeful we are going to get a physical 4K of this. I suspect maybe 2026 it'll be in the card. So hopefully, Popeye coming to 4K will be a reality. Comedies coming to 4K is actually somewhat of a relatively new thing, and they're starting to churn them out a little bit more frequently. But there are plenty of comedies out there that would be forgotten. And while you may argue that this technically is a forgotten one, because it is pretty well known, it doesn't seem to get a lot of love when it comes to physical media. Once again, I'm not quite sure that Hot Shots, starring Charlie Sheen, even got a Blu-ray release. Once again, you can correct me in the comments, but I would love to see Hot Shots get a physical 4K. Once again, it's not a movie that's going to truly benefit from a Dolby Atmos, but I would not say no to it. The picture upgrade and giving it a modern physical media release, I think a lot of fans would enjoy. I could see, maybe Shout Factory putting this one out. Maybe, whoever owns the rights. It could even be Fox. I don't actually know at this point, but it's a when you think of comedies, it sometimes gets mentioned in conversations, but never like frequently. It's always, movies that I enjoyed growing up, like Airplane, anything Mel Brooks. I mean, any of the John Hughes films. But then you have like Top Secret and Naked Guns, and but then Hot Shots is kind of always in the back. Um, I would love to see this get a 4K release. Throw in Part Due. I would not say no to that either. So who knows? Hot Shots on 4K. Maybe it'll happen. This next pick, in my opinion, is very overlooked and even forgotten, especially being a classic Hollywood movie musical. Based off the stage play and made it to film, The Music Man, starring Robert Preston and Shirley Jones, in my opinion, would make a fantastic 4K release. You have that classic period setting. I think HDR with the restoration behind it would make the colors pop. I mean, it's a very visually pleasing looking picture. I mean, you can see that even now. And I would even say that Dolby Atmos would add a lot to it. You have all those musical elements, and the big band features in this one would sound really good. I think it definitely needs an upgrade in both the visual and audio sense. And it's just a shame that when you have classic musicals, I mean, rightfully so, you have Singing in the Rain, and there's a ton out there, and even movies like Grease. Very often, not a lot of people even know about The Music Man. It's a great film. I enjoy it a lot. Grew up watching this one. I watch it at least once every other year, but I would love to see The Music Man get a proper physical 4K release. And finally, I'm going to end with another Robin Williams movie that I feel gets very overlooked, but the potentials of what this could look and sound like on 4K are, I just drool over the possibilities. What Dreams May Come. It is ultimately, it's a very poignant, sad tale about the afterlife, a man and his wife that just what happens to them and their journey, in the other world there. But the visual element in this one, I think, would lend itself to a fantastic looking 4K. The colors, the paint like colors of this place are just could be phenomenally done with HDR and Dolby Vision. Check that out. But yeah, What Dreams May Come. I I do think that is often an overlooked and forgotten movie, but it is very sad. I mean, it is, but I would love to see it get a proper 4K release. This is one I do believe also got a Blu-ray, and I think it is in my collection. But wow, imagine the possibilities of what this could look like on 4K. So hopefully we will see What Dreams May Come on the format one day very soon. So those are just some movies that I feel are often overlooked or forgotten or just flat out obscure that I think would really benefit from getting a new physical media 4K release. But now that's where I leave it to you in the comment section below. What of those type of movies would you love to see get a proper 4K? Shout out down below, give us your list. And, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a proper 4K release for all of these, and hopefully some of yours will make it as well. Let's talk about it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.